Yoshi. Everyone loves Yoshi. First introduced in the Super Nintendo classic, Super Mario World, Yoshi went on to become one of the most popular video game characters ever. Yoshi went on to appear in multiple Mario titles after, both 2D and 3D, and also most of the spin-off titles. But Yoshi also got his own series of games, with Crafted World being the latest installment of the series. Now, this isn't a full retrospective on the Yoshi series itself, but I will say that I had great experiences with many of the games. Yoshi's Island for the Super Nintendo was considered a classic by many gamers, and the last game, Yoshi's Woolly World, was one of my favorite games on the Wii U. Now, I will admit, I've never played Yoshi's Story or any of the handheld games, so I'll save my opinion once I play those. So Yoshi's Crafted World was announced in 2017 and saw a release 2 years later in early 2019. I remember how much fun I had with Woolly World on the Wii U, so you can say I was looking forward to the next installment. After watching gameplay of the game, I was really excited that the developers were taking another unique art style with this. Instead of yarn, household items used for crafting was the aesthetic this time. Yoshi's Crafted World was developed by Goodfield, the same team who was responsible for Wario Land Shake It and Kirby's Epic Yarn. This team really knows how to use a unique art style and make it into something special. Like I stated, Yoshi's last adventure was created entirely of yarn, and the team was also responsible for that. Crafted World is simply oozing in charm, and you can really tell the developers put tons of love into this project. So getting into the game itself, the story for this adventure is pretty simple and straightforward. Kamek and Baby Bowser's up to no good yet again. They have their eyes set on this magical stone called the Sun Dream Stone. With this stone, Baby Bowser's craziest dreams can become a reality, so while attempting to steal the stone, the Yoshis attempt to stop them, causing all of the colored gems in the stone to be spread across the world. Now this is where our adventure begins. Pretty standard and straightforward. So in terms of gameplay, you play as Yoshi and the game even lets you pick which color Yoshi. For this review, I went classic and just stuck with the OG green, but I do like the options. Maybe for a Twitch run, I'll use another color Yoshi. You platform your way across multiple levels, collecting things and using eggs as a form of attack against Shy Guys and more. Yoshi still has all the moves you know and love him for. His classic Flutter Jump, which can really save you if you know how to use it properly. Yoshi kind of floats in the air, giving you a little more air to reach those higher and harder to reach platforms. The classic Egg Toss, which you can use to hit enemies and grab items from a longer distance. You can also use Yoshi's classic Tongue move. Very similar to Kirby, Yoshi can swallow his enemies, but instead of him copying abilities, he just turns them into eggs to use as projectiles. Yoshi also has a ground pound move that you will need for some boss encounters. Now, this game also offers some new mechanics that I did find quite interesting, one being the foreground and background aiming. I find that this gives the levels more depth and definitely increases the replay value because there's always something new to discover. Next is the costume options. This allows Yoshi to have cosmetic upgrades and also provides some protection for Yoshi. I didn't use any of these, but I do like the idea of being able to change up Yoshi's look. In terms of the levels themselves, like I stated, this game is absolutely beautiful and arguably one of the best looking games on the platform. This is a testament to the fact that you don't need the most powerful hardware to make something beautiful. The game nails the arts and crafts look, and each world had me in awe while playing. I found myself genuinely smiling looking at some of these stages. It's great. Everything from the small town stages, the space stages, and the game even has a horror themed stage, which is my personal favorite. Now I will tell you, no matter what the critics may say, this game can definitely be extremely challenging. Now if you're just going from point A to B, the game is fairly reasonable in difficulty, but the challenge is really in finding all the collectibles and some of the challenges within the levels themselves. In the game, you need to collect a few things. The main things are these smiley flowers, and please collect these because in order to progress, there is a requirement, so keep that in mind. Now there's also red coins you can collect and these hearts that you can also collect. At the end of each stage, the game will reward you with bonus flowers if you hit certain requirements. You can also gain flowers by doing scavenger hunts and finding 3 Poochies in the flip side version of the stages. Finding these things can be extremely challenging. The game really hides a lot of these items, so you will need to take your time if you plan on collecting all of these. This game is essentially a 2D platformer, but it does have 3D elements in terms of the character models and some of the levels. The game does a great job in switching up the gameplay as well. You can go from destroying things with a giant Yoshi to a mini kart racing game. I like this, and it definitely is a nice break from the platforming. You also have boss battles, which can be wildly creative. I love the scenes where Kamek shows you how the boss is actually made. I found that pretty creative. The bosses for the most part are pretty easy to beat. You identify the weak point and hit them 3 times. Simple. Overall, Yoshi's Crafted World is an extremely charming title with much challenge packed into it. The game just oozes with charm and creativity. This game is a must-buy for the Switch. If you're a completionist, this game would definitely give you a run for your money. The game is an easy recommendation to all fans of gaming, younger and older. If you think the game may be too difficult for a younger player, Nintendo has added a mode that makes the game extremely accessible for all players. Go out and get this game. It is a great time. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time.